cock handler wanted. Do you think you could be a cock handler? 500
Pardon?
fowl to look for? 500 fowl to look after, a cock handler.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm reading the Ironbridge Chronicle.
The Ironbridge Chronicle. What are you reading, Lisa?
I've got Blue Peter 50th anniversary, so that's 10 years out of date.
Because we've just been watching Blue Peter from the 16th of February,
1978.
Indeedy.
Bilious.
Are you?
Well, Dr. Scott's bilious and liver tablets.
Okay.
They're good for flatulency.
Also on this day, On the Move with Donald G.
Coffee.
And Martin Shaw and Bob Hoskins and Patricia Hayes, script by Barry Took. Trumpton, Telephone.
Alright.
You and Me.
Was that what the dogs fell in the hole?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and all the wires got crossed.
Yeah.
You and Me, the letter A. Start as you mean to go on. Winsome Witch. Jack and Ori. With Peter Bork. Thomas and the Ragman's Coat. By Harriet Graham. Today the Ice Cream Parlour.
Okay.
Tomorrow the World.
Scooby-Doo. John Craven's News Round. And Blue Peter at 5:05. Followed by Paddington with Do It Yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And later in the evening, Tomorrow's World. Michael Rodd, Judith Hann, William Woolard and Anna Ford.
Anna Ford, was she part of the
Anna
lineup?
Ford, yes.
Goodness me.
Top of the Pops, Kid Jensen, Legs and Co. The Good Life, Backs to the Wall. That's Harvest Time, yeah. And then Wings.
In concert?
A series in 13 episodes. Excuse me. And Ali v Spinks at 9:25. Anyway, Blue Peter.
I love the way they're convinced that boxing
Oh, it's
match
a boxing match.
It's only going to last
I
about
thought
50 minutes.
I thought that was his name.
No, Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Ah,
Right. But Blue Peter.
some fat blokes fighting. Is that what you're saying?
We have what to me is the classic lineup
Oh yes.
of
Yes.
Peter, John, and Leslie. We start with what seem to be some sort of steam engines or something, don't we? On film,
Some pistons rising.
pistons and furnaces going and what have you. As this is some film of Ironbridge. Hold your chronicle up again.
Grab me
Ryan.
Chronicles.
Any more good adverts from Ironbridge? Something about wind, wasn't there?
Oh, your flatulency tablets.
And something which didn't have mercury in it.
Oh, the tablets don't have mercury in them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Leslie and Peter are with Shep and Jack and Jill,
Yes.
Oh, Jack and Jill.
and they've got Abba coming in a minute. Yes. But John's elsewhere with another dog, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's perched at the end of the studio, because I couldn't work out to begin with, because the semicircle seemed to be really small, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because usually it's quite a large sort of seating area, but they're sort of squashed in, aren't they?
And
John-
that's because they've moved half of it, so John to sit on further away,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
Is that, do you think, so the dogs don't fight?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, there's a collie dog that's made an unexpected appearance at the Leeds-Halifax rugby match at Headington.
Headingley. Is
Headingley.
It Headingley?
Headington, apparently.
Okay.
Because he does say Headingley in the
Yeah.
thing, doesn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
But
one of those.
Eddie Waring's commentating, isn't he? The man who never used consonants. It was all there. Because Graham Garden always does a good impression of Eddie Waring.
Yeah.
Notice there was a lot of snow on the pitch, wasn't there?
Yes, it's very cold.
It's cold up north.
But the dog.
The dog.
The dog
Is that like deputy dog?
belonged to one David Lowry. And
No relation?
he doesn't come into the studio,
Yeah.
but he sends his dog in.
Yeah, how did the dog get there? Did he send him on the train in the guard's van?
He sat in a little box.
But the bloke was watching the rugby and he realised his dog was on the telly.
Yeah, how long did he let his dog out the garden? He let his dog out to do its business and then just left it
It's
out
business,
there.
what you like, small share trading
Yes.
and that kind of thing.
But John's got a telephone.
Yes.
Oh yes, but it doesn't seem to be connected to anything. You noticed there was no cable on the
Was
telephone.
it not?
No, there's no
Okay.
cable on it.
But he rings up Max Owner, live from Leeds, photo caption.
Photo caption.
Live from Leeds.
Oh, it was just a pure grandstand spoof, wasn't it?
Yes.
Brilliant.
But then John asks whether he's any good at football as well.
Yes.
Like they're trying to get him. And then the dog sort of...
He puts supposedly the phone up to the dog's ear, and the bloke
Speaks
talks to the
doesn't
dog,
he?
and the
Yeah.
dog's like, well, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I can't see him.
Probably pulls John off the seat.
And then the dog makes a break for it, and Noakes gets pulled off
Yeah, backwards.
onto the floor.
He does a little sort of backward roll.
And that's the
doesn't
end of
he?
the item, isn't it? Yeah. But 4 Swedes have turned up who are in the hit parade, haven't they?
Yeah, and Abba's there as well, aren't they? Yeah.
And you get this film of Take a Chance on Me, and it's shot in like 4 corners of the screen, isn't it? And you said we should recreate that. Well, maybe not. But you've got Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Bjorn. Or Bjorn.
And the others who are with Shep.
Yeah.
There's an amazing camera zoom at one point
Yes.
where the camera hasn't lined up.
No.
They cut to the camera and it's still zooming in. And sort of, it's a very subdued sort of interview.
It's very soft and quiet, wasn't it? Leslie was very soft and quiet. A little nervous. I think she was a little bit in awe, to be honest.
Yeah, but they're all jammed up together on the...
Yeah, they're like this, aren't they?
Yeah, there's literally no room between them.
No.
Do you think it would have been better if Peter had done the interview? I think he would have brought something different.
Well,
to
Peter's
it.
quite tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
But they were all generally all the same height
Yeah, I'm just
as well.
wondering
But, yeah,
whether
Peter,
Leslie was the right person to do it.
you could have put Peter in the middle, I think, and have two each side. It'd
Yeah.
be quite good then, wouldn't it?
But
Yeah.
they get asked, what do they do for peace and quiet? And you don't really get much of an answer.
We stay at home.
But
We don't go to interviews.
But Abba the movie is out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And they've been doing a tour for sort of publicity purposes, haven't they?
Shameless plug, wasn't it? Shameless plug.
And Leslie asks, how long are you staying in the UK? And they say, we're leaving tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
So, but you said that's probably why they're quite quiet, because they're probably knackered.
Yeah.
If they've been like zooming around everywhere doing all this every day.
Yeah.
But I agree with you about the Peter doing the interview, actually.
I just wonder whether he would have brought something different to it. Then,
He's got quite that presence, hasn't he? And
Yes.
and he's got quite that not excitement as such, but he has that sort of vroom to move it along.
But I don't really remember pop groups being interviewed on
I
Blue
don't.
Peter,
See, I
but
don't,
you said
yeah.
they still do
They
that to
still
this
do
day.
it to this day, because I know in Richard Marston's excellent book about Blue Peter, not this one, the other one,
The other one.
Milk one,
The other excellent
yeah,
one.
an excellent book. He talks about getting pop groups in, and he's not always complimentary.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to buy the book
Sometimes pop
to read
groups are more
about
trouble
it.
than they're worth.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes.
Or the publicity people behind the pop groups
I'm
are.
more
But you
demanding.
get a little
Yeah.
clip of them from the movie, and you keep cutting to this screaming crowd, don't you? And it did make me think of Goodies Were All Okay, because it's shot in a very similar way, isn't
Yeah.
it? Where they're sort of up on stage. And in Goodies Were All Okay, it's just a load
Really
of screaming policemen, isn't it? Anyway, then cut to John,
Yeah.
who's trying to work out how to spell desiccated coconut.
Yeah, well, desiccated.
Desiccated.
You can spell
Or
coconut.
desecrated coconut. Yes.
Yes.
And he's got this recipe, and they did a recipe for St Valentine's cake.
Yes. And the dot and Shep is sitting with him, and
just
Shep just licks him.
licking his ear all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's like, pay me attention. Pay me attention.
But they've had a load of letters in,
Yeah, well, but at least 4.
at least 4,
At least 4.
saying that they spelt desiccated
I
wrong.
had a feeling that some of the cast might have written those letters.
All right, they very well written.
But
They
the
were
top one was extremely well written. Yes.
And I got this impression that we're going to get Biddy this time.
But yeah, then Pete comes in,
Oh, brilliant.
and
Priceless.
they're saying that John's going to have to do a load of lines,
Yes.
write out desiccated
Yes.
100 times. Oh dear.
He brings a caption card, doesn't he?
Yes.
And then Pete asks, well, who prepared the actual
Caption card.
caption?
Was it Biddy Baxter?
Was it Biddy?
Yeah,
And if
it's
it was Biddy, then she should take responsibility and she should do the lines.
Yeah, she should do 50 lines after the show.
And
And our
Warren, you said you were waiting for the clip clop of high heels down the
in my head,
gallery.
the clip clop of the high heels were coming down there, and Biddy was breathing fire.
And funnily enough, at this point, we immediately cut to a film sequence.
Yes.
As Pete is on location
In the freezing
in the
cold,
freezing
in the
cold,
rain.
with his coat on, holding some iron ore. or something.
or something.
He's there, and he's at Ironbridge.
Yeah, he's at Ironbridge talking about the sort of industrial history of it. There you go, thank you.
Yeah, the bridge.
And how, like 300 years ago, charcoal was used to smelt iron ore.
But they had to cut too many trees down, so
Yeah,
they found
yeah.
another way of getting the furnaces hot enough.
So Abraham Darby at Coalbrookdale came up with coke.
Yes.
Is the answer to all their problems.
And blast furnaces.
Yeah, and this is quite a nice educational
Well, it's-
slot,
It's
isn't
a
it?
very magazine programme, isn't it, for children?
And this is what
Not for children, it's for families.
this is what impresses me about sort of Blue Peter at this period, that you cut from very different things in each
but quite
item.
seamlessly, really.
Yeah. I mean the whole thing works as a whole, but
I think Blue Peter's always done that, though.
Yeah.
It's not just at this time.
I'm not saying it's just this one, but
Because I think they still do it now. They cut from
Yeah.
one thing to something completely different.
Yeah.
You know.
So you have entertainment, you have education, you have cookery,
Yeah.
you have the comedy item, and you have the appeal.
yeah,
We've got John Noakes being an idiot.
John Noakes being his character,
yeah.
rather than being John Noakes.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, we get some nice sort of arty sort of bits, don't we, with sort of drawings and paintings and what have you.
It's a nice
And you
voice
said
over.
they've raided the stock music sort of records, haven't they? There's some organ music.
Some hammer. I was expecting the hammered organ to come up through
Yeah.
the middle of the ground.
There's a description about how when all the sort of industry was going on, it was like sort of hell with sort of devils and fairies and things like that. And I like the way Pete says about this is sort of comparable to Concorde or Apollo in terms of the sort of technological achievement of the day. But of course, saying Concorde or Apollo definitely puts it in the sort of 70s, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, they're going on about the bridge, how it's sort of made of iron, a 31-metre span, and then this description that made you laugh, Warren, where iron is described as the plastic of the 19th century. And we're
Dragging your plastic bag down the
Your
your iron
plastic
bag
iron
down the
bag.
road.
and trying to flash with your plastic Mac. But yeah, we just wrote down iron shopping bags. And then there's this thing about tugboats, how to get them between canals as well.
Yeah,
like
you
physically
port them,
dragging
don't you?
them.
So you
Yeah.
port them across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's a museum now, and of
Yes.
course Doctor Who fans will know it from Mark of the Rani.
Yes.
It's European Museum of the Year
Yeah.
For the year before.
Yeah.
of 1977.
But yeah,
1977.
I love the description where they're sort of bigging it up and saying this is the top museum in the whole of Europe,
Yes.
which is well worth visiting if you're in Shropshire. If you're in
where?
Shropshire.
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 Boise will get that joke. Yeah, if you're in Wiltshire, I wouldn't bother. You know.
Go somewhere else.
But there was no bugger there, was there?
I know, because it was cold and wet.
I did like his flying jacket. Though.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very nice.
But now we're talking about the British Forces Broadcasting back in the studio, who have got their own version of the Radio
Which
Times.
seems to be about 4 pages long.
Yeah.
And very absorbent.
And
Yeah.
British Forces Broadcasting broadcast Blue Peter on Mondays and Thursdays, but a week later.
A week later than, yeah.
I suppose that take how long it takes. How long it would take to send the video cassette over?
Well, yeah, I don't know quite what tapes they were running off of, whether they had proper 2-inch ones or whether they were little U-matic jobs or something, I don't know. But this is all to do with the Keynote Appeal.
Right.
So, Lisa, read
So
out the Keynote Appeal.
Sorry. The
That's all right.
Keynote Appeal. hang on,
1977.
So, 250,000, not 250,
2.5 million.
2.5 million, sorry, parcels of old keys and toy cars were sent in, buying four mobile classrooms and video equipment for deaf children.
There you go.
Do you think any of the kids sent their house keys in?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Where's my keys?
No, I
Send them to Blue Peter.
don't remember sending anything for this one.
No.
I remember sending in stamps.
I
and
remember.
things
I
like
sent
that.
stamps.
Yeah.
Stamps are easy to do, though.
But
aren't
I
they?
didn't have loads of keys knocking around.
And you didn't want to send your cars
I didn't
in.
want to send me cars in because my cars are still in the shed.
Yes.
So they might go up for auction soon.
Yes.
We shall see. But yeah, an armoured car which is apparently
Oh,
a
yes,
fox,
a
comes
fox.
into the studio.
And Pete has to see it in, doesn't he?
Pete has to wave it in.
And he's sort of backing back and doing the sort of like this.
Because they come in ahead of a lick, really.
Yeah.
And Leslie
Comes over to
she's
help.
clambering over people to get
Yeah.
to the soldiers.
She's there like a,
Yeah, a
Rat up a
trade
drain.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the one of the soldiers sort of explains, manages to dry halfway through his explanation.
You had one line.
Yeah,
One line.
he couldn't do it. But there's a
they're
shot.
territorial army soldiers,
Yeah.
we should say.
Ah.
Yes.
So maybe they've not been on camera much. But they got a big box of dinky cars and what have you, and apparently it weighs £94. And then John reads out the address where to send these
Yeah.
to. It's 218 Lambeth Road. I'll have to look that up on Google Maps to see what's there these days. And you get free delivery from Roadline.
Woohoo.
You remember Roadline?
Yes.
Yeah.
The white and green trucks, weren't they?
Well, I think Roadline turns up in Children of the Stones
Because that's what the sidekick on the bicycle.
it's the lorry at the start. But they say what's going to happen next week, and it's a reporter from John Craven's Newsround that's in a rock band or something, and Percy Thrower's going to be in the garden.
So they've got to get.
in his rock garden.
So they've got to get their long johns on.
Or as John notes, as Leslie said about sort of John notes his long johns, was it short johns?
Yeah.
And that's it really. That's the end credits, and the end credits include Rennie Rye of
Box of Delights.
and Sarah Hellings,
Who will go on to direct Mark of the Rani.
who directed Mark of the Rani.
So obviously working on this programme.
Found a location for it, yeah.
There you go. But I really like that.
Yeah.
That's I mean it's 1978, so sort of changes are on the horizon for Blue Peter fairly soon.
But they're riding on the high, aren't they?
Yeah, and I do remember when the sort of changes started to happen. But to me, if you say Blue Peter, this is the three
Absolutely.
that I think of. I mean, obviously you're a bit later,
Yeah,
aren't you, Lisa?
for me it's sort of Simon Gruen, Peter Duncan, and
Yeah.
sort of Sarah Green or Janet Ellis.
I mean, there has been talk about sort of BBC iPlayer getting more archive stuff online.
Yes.
Isn't
So
it?
hopefully they might get a bit Blue Peter.
So I think Blue Peter would be a very interesting, not necessarily the whole lot, but just some sort of chosen ones. And judging this one just as I guess it's just an average edition.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is,
know.
really.
I've got very little to go on.
It's not just.
But I
not
found it really
spectacular.
entertaining.
Yeah.
So I would.
If you're thinking they've got to bring two programmes out a week continuously throughout the year.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Thinking about it, the actual amount of work you need to get these shows as entertaining as this twice a week is phenomenal. Which is,
And the presenters are constantly working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of sort of professionalism supporting this
And
this
you
show.
can, you can
isn't
tell
it?
as well that all the presenters get on because
Yeah.
they're joking with each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's quite weird because Leslie and John are quite jokey with each other, whereas Peter is straight down the line.
Yeah.
He's not having any part of it, is he? He's just doing his job.
Well,
and,
this is the thing. I think in the early days, Pete and John used to be
The
much
double
more
act, didn't they?
jokey.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
black and white sort of film sequences that survived. The one where they're being waiters or something,
Yes.
and then the salt course
Yeah.
or something.
yeah,
And I think they were told not to
yeah. Can you stop piddling
piddling
around?
about. So I think it falls to Peter to be a bit of a contrast with
Peter's
John.
the sort of he's like your dad really, isn't he? where John's your older cheeky older
Yeah.
brother, Peter's your dad, and he's there
Yeah.
to tell you stuff properly.
But but as you said, John has adopted a character, hasn't
Yeah.
he, to deal with the cameras. So yeah.
Watching an episode like this is marvellous because most people remember the set pieces. They remember the going up Nelson's column on a ladder, holding onto a piece of string type thing. Every time I watch that, I go, oh. But those are the set pieces you're remembering, aren't you? You're remembering their special reports when Valerie Singleton to us was a guest when she came in.
Yeah.
But this generation before us, she was a presenter, wasn't she? So,
Oh yeah.
but those are the things that people remember the best. But when you come to watch a routine program, you realise how much has actually gone into it because they are producing it all the time.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I'm not sort of saying that makes Peter at all boring or anything, but
No.
he's the authority.
Yes.
He's the one you look to get
He's
facts.
the older brother, isn't he?
Yes.
He's the older brother, the two
Yeah.
cheeky young
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. He's the one there going, don't do that.
Yes.
Stop doing that.
Okay.
But secretly,
He's enjoying it.
he's enjoying it
Yeah.
because, especially that
That line
absolute
about bidding
Yeah.
fantastic.
is really
So
made
much
us laugh.
trouble.
Yeah.
So much trouble.
Okay. There you
Alright.
go. There's Blue Peter, 1978.
Marvellous.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.